Hey everyone, it's time for some more Monster Hunter, and today I'm not exactly sure what we'll be doing, but I'll kind of wing it. Let's see what we can get done today. That's it, hope you enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. I just want to give a massive thanks to all of my Patreon supporters. This is the most direct way to support the channel, and they give me the motivation to keep going every day. Now I think after looking at the quest list, I think this would be a good time to actually get back to the whole edutainment side of my channel. Now, what a lot of people really hate about these Piscine liver quests is that they're really difficult to do for a lot of people. But the thing about the liver quests in general, like whether it's the Liver of Legend or the Lady Gourmet, is that the Cephalos and Cephadrome, especially in 1st gen, usually revolve around a pretty predictable pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and grab some small barrel bombs just to make this a little bit easier. I'm not going to put in the effort of making sonic bombs right now because at this time, I don't think it'll really be necessary. Now, I'm guessing I'll probably have to kill at least 12 to 15 Cephalots in order to get these livers, but at the same time, I'm not too worried because if you know exactly what you're doing, then the quest is pretty easy in general and not too painful. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come over here to the item box and... Oh, right, that's right, we're on high rank, so they don't, unfortunately, give you any sonic bombs. However, that won't really be necessary for me because of the simple fact that I have the small barrel bombs, and if you can predict the patterns of these Cephalos, the small barrel bombs are effectively little mini time sonic bombs. They're harder to use, but it's pretty much the same concept. Now, something I did forget to grab is my well-done steaks, so I am going to deal with that. With the Apsaros being right here, of course, they are a good source of monster bones and raw meats. And with them being right here, I can just kill them, get some meat, and get some steak. I shouldn't need too many, maybe 2 or 3 steaks, and I should be good. So in general, when it comes to high rank, it really is a good idea to make sure you prepare ahead of time, but I also feel like high rank is where the real meat and potatoes of Monster Hunter is supposed to be. So low rank is kind of supposed to be a sort of just triapsing through the wilderness and, you know, kind of getting everything supplied for you. And of course, you are expected to grind out materials and the like. However, when it comes to high rank, you actually have to get your own materials, such as raw meat, and turn them into steaks. So things like the portable spit, or the barbecue spit, I guess. The portable spit is the supply item version. Those become a lot more necessary in the long run because most likely, unless you have a full stack of well-done steaks going into every single quest, it'll be a lot more prevalent to have it with you, so that you can cook raw meat on the go. Alright, now that I have 3 well-done steaks, I'm going to go ahead and munch on one of these. And if you'll notice, I still have a max stack of cool drinks. Thankfully, high rank still does provide you with cool drinks, which is definitely helpful. However, I did bring my own cool drinks on top of that, so I shouldn't run out before the end of the quest. Now, for the cool drinks, unless you're actually going to go to Area 2 and Area 7, and I guess Area 3, because it's color-coded the same color. Probably not Area 3, though. But Areas 2 and 7, if you're going to come here, you have to use a cool drink, of course. So, unless I'm actually going to be in this area, I tend to avoid using cool drinks. Now, when it comes to the Cephalos, if you'll look at these 2 areas, they're kind of square shapes. So, let's say this Cephalos stops right here. Well, now that he's stopped right there, he's going to come out of the sand. I can drop a small barrel bomb. And, well, unless he swims away, of course, I can actually get him out of the sand. Now, you do have to be pretty tight on the timing. So, like, right now, it's probably not enough time, unless he actually wants to pause for a moment. Yeah, so, the timing is generally pretty tight with those. So, what you do is just wait for him to come up. And then as soon as he stands up, or jumps up, that's when you throw down the barrel bomb. And that'll actually get him out of the sand. Now, I'm thinking the Aptonoth and maybe the Moss Swine are the only things that kind of retain their low-ranked stats, because to me at least it does feel like the Apsaros and the Cephalos are definitely tankier in general. Of course, with this not being, what is it, Generations Ultimate, I don't know when exactly they started doing it, but the Apsaros do not give 2 carves, they only give 1 carve. But like I was saying, the minimap here, let's look at it as a square. Let's say this guy is right here. And, oh, okay, he's actually jumping up out of the sand, so that's definitely going to be helpful. I can just chase him down real quick, and we can go ahead and try to carve him once I get rid of him. But let's say he starts out right here. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, also do be mindful of the other Cephalos, because they can definitely come over and wreck your day, and with it being high rank, they usually do a lot more damage than what they normally would. But let's say they start right here on the top right corner. Now, you'll want to look at this area as a sort of grid pattern, and we're going to get a little technical with this. So when it comes to the Cephaloss, let's say he stops right here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and follow him until he stops. Alright, so the Cephaloss is stopping right here in the bottom left. So basically, the way you're going to want to think about it is you're going to go back one area. So if he stops here in the bottom left, you're going to go to the top left. Because what they do is they go towards 3 corners. So they'll go from the bottom left, he'll go from the bottom right to the top right to the top left. So he should stop right up here. Or was I wrong? That might have actually been the wrong one. I'll have to try this one more time because apparently I goofed that up. So I'm going to wait for a Cephaloss to stop and then follow it around. So that one's going to be on the bottom right, so that means it should go to the top right. So what we're going to do is we're going to come right over here and then we're going to wait for it. Now this information is pretty useful in general on its own, but it does still involve a bit of luck. Oh my goodness. Because you also have to have a Cephaloss's AI basically stop for you. Alright, so after doing some quick testing, it looks like it's not quite as rigid with the corners they stop in. So this Cephaloss, for example, it is still the same principle in that it went from the bottom left to the top right, top left to the top right, and then the bottom right. So it is still the same thing, it's just the areas aren't quite as rigidly in the corners as I was thinking at first. So it definitely is a good idea to kind of keep an eye on them and see exactly what they're doing, but generally it's kind of the area of the corner that they're going in that you're going to want to hang out at. So what I did with this one is... Oh, let me actually kill it real quick. So what I did with this one is it was on the bottom left, but right there where the 2 is, like right at the corner of the zone, basically what I did was I pretty much saw it go from that 2, like right where that number 2 is. I kind of followed it around over to this area. So it kind of went more on the left side, to the top, to the right, to the bottom, but it didn't exactly go into the corners. And of course, to be mindful that Cephadron does, of course, follow the same logic, because it basically has the same AI in terms of movement stuff as the Cephaloss. Except, of course, it goes to Area 3 and leaves the zone. So this Cephaloss, it should actually stop around the top of the map, or maybe towards the left. I don't exactly remember where it started. I'll have to do a bit more testing, but with it launching itself, they usually start their movement pattern all over again. So this one's on the right side, so then we'll go towards the bottom, and then the left, and then it should stop somewhere up here on the top line. Yeah, there it is, right up there. So in the top right. So it is kind of a similar concept, it's just kind of difficult to predict exactly where they're going to stop, just because the areas aren't rigidly in the corners. Now, of course, same thing applies. Obviously, don't get hit by them, because if they jump out of the sand, it does do damage and knock you back, but whenever you see them sink into the ground, wait for them to jump up, and then right as they jump out of the sand, you gotta time it, that's when you put the bomb down. Now, of course, I did go into this like a numpty without any sonic bombs, but that's just the cross I have to bear for not preparing properly. And deliberately, of course. Honestly, I think the hardest part of this quest really is just the luck factor, so in terms of Cephaloss killed, I have definitely killed quite a few. I think I've killed at least 9 or 10 so far, but I only have about 4 livers, I believe. And now that I've actually run out of barrel bombs, I'm just going to have to attack the Finn whenever he jumps up, and then hopefully knock him out. So thankfully my weapon is strong enough that 2 strikes on the Finn with the sword can pull them out of the sand, but if you do have a weaker weapon, then keep in mind that you might have to hit them a few more times. That part can definitely make this a lot more miserable than it needs to be. So I believe I've discarded 3 Cephaloss skulls because I had a full item box before. So that's 5 livers, and how many fins? 3 fins. So that's 13 Cephaloss killed so far, and I think I have 5 livers. Now, it looks like this is only a 30-minute quest, so I am definitely racing against the clock. Now, if this was let's say, the Liver of Legend, where you only needed 3, it's really not that bad, but a quest like this really is designed with multiple people in mind, because if you do try to solo it, it's just because of the luck factor for the item drop rates more than anything else. That's really what's going to waste most of your time. Because something I've found easier, personally, is I just kind of run a smaller circle around the middle in order to actually follow these guys around, and that's how I follow them and get them out of the sand. Sometimes, of course, you do get lucky. They just kind of jump out of the sand of their own volition, or they do... by the way, these small Cephaloss, they do have chip damage. But they'll either jump out of the sand of their own volition, or they'll just kind of stop like right in front of you, but... thankfully, it is fairly easy for the most part, actually getting them up out of the sand in high rank once you have a stronger weapon. In my own personal opinion, the most painful part about this quest is if you, say, get a Cephalos like this close to death, and then it jumps back into the sand after knocking you back. That's really where most of the pain comes from, in my opinion, for me personally. However, I will say I don't think I'm going to complete this quest in time. I'll still give it a good try, but I'll have to kill at least one Cephalos every minute. Oh no, it could be two Cephalos, or one Cephalos every 2 minutes. It is still a bit of a struggle to actually get them up out of the sand, because you actually have to follow them around. Like that one, it's going to stop like right over here on the bottom, so, or the bottom of the map. Yeah, like right here on the bottom right. So this Cephalos, it's not wanting any of it. This Cephalos, though, if I can chase it down, yeah, so this one's turning to spit at me, so I actually got lucky here, and I can use this time to take it down. Now, it is looking like the quest will be pretty tight. I have about 6.5 minutes left, and I need 3 more livers. I have killed about 4 Cephalos since I got the notification, and that really is, once again, where the difficulty comes in. There's this thing called the Desire Sensor that is popular in Monster Hunter. Well, I guess it's infamous and unpopular. Basically, it's like the game detects that you want a certain item and then prevents you from having that item. However, I do like to think that it just is kind of a testament to how well you can do if you are prepared, just by going into this quest solo. Because this is a multiplayer quest designed for multiple people playing it, but already I have, well, 7 livers. And that's after killing probably about 15 or 16 Cephalos, at least. And of course, without using sonic bombs of any sort. The sonic bombs definitely do kind of trivialize dealing with them for the most part, because you can just get them right out of the sand without having to do any sort of prediction or prep work or anything like that. And maybe if I did bring sonic bombs into this, I'd be doing a little bit better, but this game really does show no draw no quarter, show no mercy, whatever else. Either you get the items or you don't. And also, the effect of the cool drink expired. I'm probably just going to try to tough it out, because I don't think I have enough time to go back to camp. I do only need 2 more livers, I believe. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and pop a first aid med here, and then do a weapon sharpen, because that'll save me a little bit of time in the long run. Probably with this little bit of time left, it'll probably save me just as much time as if I didn't sharpen the weapon, but I'm not too worried. As is, this Cephalos is stopping. It should turn towards me. There you go. And that's like the worst move they can do when they turn towards you. So what you want them to do is that jumping out of the sand spit attack. And of course, with my weapon at maximum sharpness, I need to hit their fin twice, and they'll jump right out of the sand. This one should be stopping right up here on the top left corner of the map. Yep, right there. And yeah, it's just going to ignore me. So yeah, there is still some luck factor even after you know all their patterns. They have to RNG, turn towards you, and there's the RNG item drop rates. So hopefully this one turns towards me. Yep. And then it's going to jump out of the sand right here because it went in. And then if I can hit its fin twice right as it comes out, I can pop it, and that is the worst possible thing that could happen. Once again, do be mindful of the other Cephalos because they will absolutely ruin your shit. Alright, so I got my 9th liver. This is definitely going to be a photo finish. I just need 1 more. This one was a pain to get out of the sand because the other Cephalos kept coming over and swimming at me. Thankfully, this one's just handing me itself on a silver platter. My guess, knowing my luck, is I'm probably going to get a Cephalos scout instead of that last Piscine liver, but I do still have to deliver the liver even if I do get them all. Unfortunately, though, it does look like it went right back into the sand, so I'm going to have to... Oh, no, not follow him around. So let's see if I can do a jumping attack on this guy. Yep, right out of the sand. And then I'll just go ahead and smack him a few times. And then dodge right here. Oh, no, that was him dying. I thought that was another Cephalos coming up behind me. So let's see if I can get the liver. I do got the liver. There you go. 2 minutes left. It's going to be a photo finish, but I should finish with about 30 seconds to a minute left. Like I said, though, even without preparing with sonic bombs and items for more sonic bombs, I just brought 10 small barrel bombs, and that was enough to actually wrap this up. So, yes, this is a painful quest in terms of the RNG, and sometimes it can just be time-consuming if you're on your own, but I would have finished this quest within 10 to 15 minutes at most, because I only just got my last 7 livers in the last 10 or 15 minutes, but it looks like I actually managed to pull through. Yeah, but like I was saying, it was just that desire sensor, that luck factor, that was really where the worst of it is. I'm not gonna lie though, that was miserable. I don't want to do that ever again. But of course I'm gonna have to do that again. And Monster Hunter G and Freedom, okay, I don't know about G, because I will be transferring my save file, thankfully. Now that I think about it, the whole point of G is that there's an entire new rank. There's G rank. So, my guess is that it is going to be in G rank, and I don't know, maybe it's going to be 15 livers this time instead of 3 or 10. Either that, or you'll just have to contend with a Diablo on the map. Or, not Diablo, a Diablos on the map. That would definitely make it, interesting and unpleasant, and just the type of way that I would expect Gen 1 Monster Hunter to be. Alright, I'm going to call it right there. I think this will be a shorter video for y'all and a longer video for me. I do apologize about the audio mixing in the last couple episodes. Now that I'm going from live streaming back to recording stuff as well, and, you know, not doing the weekly videos, I am going to have to balance the audio properly and just try to go from there. I'll probably spend this weekend doing that if I don't get it figured out by the weekend, but still, that said, I hope y'all still enjoyed the video. If you liked it, of course, leave a like on it, and give me a comment down below if you have any other advice on dealing with set flaws that you'd like to provide besides what I've given so far. And of course, if you do want to see more content like this, subscribe for more videos like this one. If you want to join me for these multiplayer hunts, once I start getting to the big monsters or missions I'm struggling with, I will be starting to put out notifications in the Discord again for people to join me in the mornings. Do keep in mind, though, I will only be playing 1 or 2 missions per video for the most part, so just keep that in mind whenever you do join. However, I do have a large and fairly active community, which I am very happy to be a part of. They're usually looking for other games to play, and pretty much all of the Monster Hunter games have multiplayer, and every single one of them plays at least one of those Monster Hunter games. Still though, if you want to support the future of the channel, check out my Patreon, linked in the description below. Or become a member here on YouTube. Either way, you'll get pictures and video updates of what I spend my money on, mostly with it going towards my dogs. I'm actually quite excited and grateful because recently I realized I can now fully feed my dogs every month just off the money that my community has provided so far. And for that, I am so grateful, and there's no words I can use to express thanks for that. Because everything I do really is for my dogs, and just knowing I don't have to worry about feeding them anymore, despite how bad a month might be in terms of finances, that's something that I never thought I would have the privilege of having. So again, thank you, everybody. That's it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.